they're going to have a Dan Campbell situation where I think Mike Vrabel is going to flip.
Throws the ball 50 times a game. You know who threw the ball 50 times a game and has more youth in his arm? Sam Howell. Give him a chance.
Quack.
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 Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack.
Come on, Ducks!
And a fucking hot dog that's been sitting there for 8 or 9 innings waiting for you to finally get to that dog. Nothing.
It looks like a vag that just gave birth to octuplets and fucking a baseball came sliding out. The Saints to be good, but like.
Yeah, so do all the Saints fans, but that's not really how it
I'm
works.
here to be like, I'm here to give my goddamn
Well, if
number
the Knicks
2.
win in 7, it's because the Pistons got hosed on some stupid call. I know it. I already know it.
It's an inflammation around his pelvic region.
Yes.
So is he's done having sex the rest of his life too then.
They got it. I hate to say it, but Andres Galore's
Kidding me?
The camera's fucking away so bad.
That's his idea, 100%. That's his idea. Those other two guys are looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing?
All right, people, what's going on? We're back. And by we, I mean me. Because whether you're short, whether you're tall, or whether you know how to crawl, you got me in the saddle today because Tycho and Jakob, they're out for a fucking hockey game. You got Luke, who is, we don't know. We got Jesse, who's got a kid. So maybe someone will jump in here and join me. Maybe I'll be all alone. But here's what we know. We know is that for an hour, there's nobody that can tell me I'm wrong. And I can just sit here and give my opinions about not only college football, not only NFL, but also the MLB playoffs, and nobody's here to stop me. NHL's also going. That's kicking as well. So if Luke joins us, I'm sure that he will talk about that. But we got a lot of shit to talk about. And because it's just me in the saddle, I can kind of choose my order here. This is great. I kind of love this. Yeah, I got full control today, bitches. Let's have some fun. All right, kicking things off. Subscribe to everything on the bottom of the screen. Ride the Tide 586. You know what the dealio is. So we're going to start with baseball because I can probably just do baseball and then roll into college football. And then if Jesse wants to join me at 6:30, 6:40, like I think he will, then we can just finish off with football. So we're going to start with baseball and then we'll go from there. Bada bing, bada boom. Hit the thing. Damn it.
Championship, because this is the only championship you'll ever get. You can't get during the regular season to save your life.
Center field. Jones still on the move, running out of room, and he makes it! Come on in! 1-1 for Dodson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over.
All right, kicking things off with baseball, kicking things off in the National League Championship Series. And for those of you wondering, it is the same fucking score, and by score I mean series, in back-to-back ones. So we'll start it over in the National League. Dodgers, Brewers. Obviously, the regular season favorite on paper you would assume would be the Dodgers, but if you've been watching this year, you know it might actually, this isn't a Brewers hat, I'm just adjusting my hat. You know it might actually be the Brewers because the Brewers have been playing outstanding in regular season. We've come into the postseason, absolutely smacked the first team they played, went to 5 with the Cubs, and yeah, here we go. Game number 1 started off pretty solid in my opinion from both teams. You know, you get the home run, then you get the tie, then it's 1-0 going into the 9th inning. 1-1 top of the 9th. 2-1 going in. Sorry, I said that completely wrong. See, I have to correct myself because there's no one here to correct me now. So you got to bear with me, people. It was 1-0. Then it goes to 1-1 in the top of the 9th, or 2-0 in the top of the 9th. 2-1. Milwaukee tries to salvage it. You couldn't get anything out of it. You go to game number 2, and the Dodgers open up the floodgates. And in playoff baseball, 5 runs is the floodgates. You get 2 runs, then you get another run, then you get another run, then you get another run, and bam, it's 5-0. And just like that in playoff baseball against a bullpen as good as Milwaukee's, with a batting lineup as dangerous as the Dodgers, the bats outweighed the gloves. And that now leads us to a 2-0 series lead for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going back home feeling probably very fucking good about themselves. Tyler Glass now is on the mound for the Dodgers. And I believe, yes, Jose Quintana is on the mound for the Brewers. Now, I know Jesse is, if he does join us at some point, he will probably try to tell you that it is still probably big B's in this bitch. But as a realist, as a villain, and as a man who is here to tell you what you want to, not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, it's not looking good. No shit. What I mean by that is the Dodgers' offense is scary in more ways than one. Their pitching rotation this year, on paper, as good as it's been, has been a little shaky at times. But if things can go together how they have been in the playoffs for the Dodgers offensively and on the pitching staff, and what you look at on paper comes together on the field, as much as we all hate to say it, there's no reason this team shouldn't win the World Series. So this makes sense. Hate it, but that's the truth. Now, do I think this is going to be a 4-game sweep and Milwaukee's got no chance in hell? That's not what I'm saying. I think that Milwaukee can get a game or 2. Do I think Milwaukee can come into Dodger Stadium and get 2 straight games? That's where I have problems. So as of right now, it's looking very good for the Dodgers. But we have another series to talk about, and that is the American League Championship Series. We got 2 teams that, honestly, I'm so happy with whoever wins. The Toronto Blue Jays, who I am obviously a fan of with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You got the Seattle Mariners, who I think a lot of people are fans of with Big Dumper this year. In the American League Championship Series, in game number 1 in Toronto, went as followed. Starting off with a 1-0 lead, George Springer, leadoff home run, first batter for Toronto. It's 1-0, but they did not know that that was going to be one of the only 2 hits that they would have and only run in that game. Seattle got a 2-run homer they got a solo homer by Big Dumper. They got another run in the 6th inning to make it 2-1, another run in the 8th inning to make it 3-1. They take game 1. Game number 2, pretty similar to the series of the Dodgers and the Brewers. Floodgates kind of opened up a little bit game 2, only this one was a little more brutal. 3-3 at the end of the 2nd inning, so you are already expecting the balls to be flying off the bat. But then we get to 6-0 off another Jorge Polanco home run, because this motherfucker can't be stopped. Every time Jorge Polanco sees a pitch right now, he's the clutchest hitter in the playoffs at the moment. This guy, he's seeing nothing but green. And by green, I mean dollar signs, because holy shit, he might have an MVP coming his way. And by that, I mean postseason MVP, if you know what I'm talking about. 3 more runs in the 7th inning. You tack on a 10-3 lead, and there's no coming back from that, Jack. That was the final in game number 2, and now we come into today at 8:08 p.m. on TBS. Shane Bieber, George Kirby, and a must-win game for Toronto, because let's face it, you are not going to be sitting pretty 3-0. I didn't mention that for the Brewers, but obviously also a must-win spot tonight. You're not going to want to sit 3-0. No one wants to sit 3-0. So when it comes to this game tonight, I think the lean, as much as I hate to say it, is Seattle. I do think the Brewers have a better chance of taking game 3 tonight than Toronto does, because even though these bats for Toronto are still, in my opinion, very good, they've been slowing down a little bit. We saw Seattle's bullpen go 15 innings against Detroit on Friday. Big reason why we didn't have a podcast Saturday, for those of you who are wondering. Why was there no pod Saturday morning? Did I miss it? No. The boys stayed up till 1 a.m. watching Tigers baseball, okay? That's insane. And the fact that I even had to say that statement is utterly ridiculous. So there's no pod Saturday. You come in today, and we can talk about the fact that after those 15 innings, most people were expecting that bullpen to be a little depleted, a little tired, and Toronto to take advantage of that. They got 2 hits. Came out the next game, got 3 runs, and were outscored in that series so far. Let's go with simple math here. 3 plus 10 is 13. 3 plus 1 is 4. That's a 9-run differential right there in 2 games off of a team whose bullpen is supposedly, looking like they're going to be taking a hit going into this Toronto series. In my opinion, that's fucking terrifying. As a Blue Jays fan, as someone who, wants them to do good, I completely understand why George Kirby and Shane Bieber, this is not the Shane Bieber that you're expecting to come out here with a insane ERA like in his Cleveland days. He's sitting at a 6.75 right now, which is not something you want to see out of one of the better pitchers in your rotation. So if it does go, presumably how I think it's gonna, I think Seattle's gonna take this series in 5, and I think that let's see the Dodgers take that one in 6. Oh, we want better baseball. We want better playoffs. Yeah, me too. But if you get a Seattle, you get a Dodgers World Series right there. We know where the world leans. We know you have a classic David Goliath. We know you have a classic. Everybody loves the Goliath. Everybody hates the David. Wait, said that backwards. Everybody loves the David. Everyone hates the Goliath. So it could be that type of matchup. We'll see. But that's baseball. There's not a whole lot to talk about in the world of MLB other than the playoffs. Outside news in terms so far. But yeah, here we are in the world of baseball, which means the next thing we have to talk about is college football. And then we got NFL. And maybe at some point somebody will join me. But if not, we're going to have a fucking blast anyway, shooting this shit.
Goff on first down, firing downfield for Williams. He's got it. Jamison Williams into the end zone. Touchdown.
Genty breaking a tackle with that stiff arm. Takes a little stutter step, picks up a first down, cuts it back inside. Ashton Genty trying to turn on the gas. Out of the backfield, Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first.
You can step into it. Here comes the Hail Mary with the game on the line. And the ball is caught!
All right. Let me take ALCS off the goddamn screen because a lot of you are like, Dylan, that doesn't mean shit. College football records, don't blink. You're not crazy. They are the same as last week because we didn't have a pod Saturday. So, of course, they're going to be the same. Duh. That's just math. Now, excuse moi. Oui. Let's get to the very next segment. Today, in college football by Dylan Domzalski. Sorry, I just stole that from 97.1. Let's get to it. We didn't preview any games on Saturday. Therefore, I can pretty much just run through any game that I want. But I'm not going to do that for the sake of not keeping you guys here for 3 hours. So we're just going to run through the important ones. No, you're not getting hit with Washington and Rutgers. Sorry. Aw. I know. All right, let's get it. Houston and Oklahoma State. Houston absolutely destroyed them. Don't know why I'm talking about that. Here's the problem, people. Let's just address this while it's just me and I have you here. This is why I need Tyler, okay? I would love to solo dolo these things more, but I get so ADD sidetracked that we are 13 minutes in and just starting college football because I am not good at staying on track. No shit. Just had to say that. So let's start with a game that actually matters and people gave a shit about and watched. Alabama and Missouri. Number 8 Alabama, number 14 Missouri played. And honestly, I'm happy we did not have a Saturday pod because this had all the makings of Tyler riding hard for Bama and me probably riding for Mizzou. And I would have been wrong. So Alabama comes out 27-24 against another really good Mizzou team that I admit was wrong about in the beginning of the year. They have proven to be a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Ty Simpson at another game where he performed very well. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 8 incompletions, 200 yards. Can't complain about that. They pulled out a gritty, grimy win on the road in Mizzou by 3 points. And this Bama team, like I just said, is now back to number 8 in the nation after a horrible week 1 loss to Florida State. They have bounced back against a huge win against Georgia, huge win against Mizzou, and I think there's another ranked team in there that I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, multiple huge wins for Alabama to put themselves in a much better spot. Going to the other side, talking about the team that I just mentioned upset Alabama, Florida State, they took a 3-point loss to Pitt, and that is something that I was not ready for. Florida State came out this year and said, hey, maybe we're good. And then they kind of, the last couple weeks, have shown maybe we're just mid. Maybe we're not bad, but maybe we're not good. Maybe we're exactly what Thomas Castellanos in Boston College was, which is just mediocre football. I know we love him, people, but somebody has to speak the truth. He had 245 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He didn't play bad. That's not what I'm here to do, is shit on him. But he got outperformed by Mason Heistenschell. Don't come at me. I think that's his name. 8 incompletions, 321 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, but the run game had 155 total yards and 2 touchdowns, which picked up his slack. So, feels good to be a Pitt Panther. Yes. See, I've been getting better at remembering these fucking mascots and logos and names. So, be proud. Anyways, next game. Ohio State, number 1 team in the nation. Illinois, number 17 team in the nation. Came in to Illinois. Illinois, after taking an absolute ass whooping. It was bad. I mean, Indiana and Kurt Cignetti just absolutely beat the living piss out of them. It was not fun to watch if you were at that game in Illinois. So we bounced back against an Ohio State Buckeyes team who was currently number 1 team in the nation, and I'm proud to say they did not get shit on. So I feel like that is a win here. Did they win the football game? I mean, that was never a fucking question. No, of course not. Don't be silly. But Ohio State, Julian Sayin continues to play all the football that he needs to play. Julian Sayin, I don't know who has said this or who has not, but I feel like every big game I watch him play, he's got less than 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he's 19 for 27. Very J.J. McCarthy-esque numbers that I continue to see out of Julian Sayin. So, could that end up being a good thing or a bad thing for them? I guess we'll find out. Run game, 106 total yards. Pass game, 166 total receiving yards, like I said. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. Defensively, they were able to get an interception. They were able to get a fumble. They were able to win the turnover battle and a 34-16 dub as they walk out of there, still the number 1 team in the nation. The domination nation. All right. Next game, number 6, Oklahoma and Texas. Red River rivalry. Finally, good Lord, Arch Manning. He didn't do anything too crazy on the stat sheet, but needed, and I mean needed, a big win against another high-tier quarterback. Now, we understand that John Mater, is hurt. We saw the whole diagnosis about this man pretty much is playing with a broken thumb, and that's probably why he had his worst game of the season by far. Not only was it the first game of the year that he threw more than 1 interception, but he threw 3 of them puppies. 200 yards, 3 picks, and that's what happens when you only have 4 fingers. Arch Manning was doing it with his legs as much as he was doing it with his arms. Picked up a tutty, picked up almost 40 rushing yards, and got the 23-6 win that Texas, in my opinion, just desperately needed to get back into good graces of the AP poll, the SEC poll, whatever poll you want to put it in. And yeah, I can't really be too mad at Oklahoma's offensive performance. Like I said, your quarterback had 4 fingers, but you can shout out the fact that they had a top defense in the league. They had a top defense in the SEC, and Texas was able to take advantage of that. So, shout out to Texas for that. Like I said, good Lord, did they need that as a program. Tennessee took down Arkansas 34-31 in a field goal game. Number 12, Tennessee got the dub. And if Tyler was here, he would probably hit y'all with this fucking video. He'd probably hit y'all with like something like this.
Rocky Top! You'll always be home sweet home to me! Good old Rocky Top! Rocky Top, Tennessee!
So now you can see that even when he's not here, I still play his shit because I'm not just a little, bitch who hates Tennessee, okay? I have respect for them. I just don't like their color scheme or their checkerboard end zones or they're, I'm going to stop. But let's move on to the next game. Number 7, Indiana. Number 3, Oregon. Huge game. A lot of people probably would have put their balls on Oregon, considering that's where all the money was starting to flow. Kurt Signetti and these boys walk into the Duck Stadium. They walk in as 6.5-point underdogs and go into halftime in a 10-10 game. Sorry, 13-10 game. That lets you know the point is that this is going to be a battle. Come out in the second half, boom, immediately the boys are buzzing. We got a 12-10 lead. Now it goes to 20 to Jesus, Dylan, let's rephrase. We got a 20-13 lead. Then it gets cut back into the fourth quarter. 30 points for Indiana, 7 points for Oregon. And you know what that leads to? Nothing. Because it's a 10-point Indiana victory. Kurt Signetti, holy shit. A lot of people that were looking at them as a fringe playoff team can now look at them as maybe a Big Ten championship team. Not saying that they are going to win it, but they definitely have a path to now make it there. If they continue to win out, and let's say their only win happens, or their only loss on the schedule comes at number 1, Ohio State, they got a very good case with Oregon about who's going to play in that game. And if you have to make that case, this game is your case. Fernando Mendoza has continued to move up the Heisman ranks by beating big team after big team. And now after knocking off Oregon, I think that's huge for him, huge for the program. Hell, you know what? Shout out to Indiana, man. Just round of applause. Came in there. A lot of people really just thought you guys were going to just get your legs spread open and embarrassed, like when last year you had to play or Ohio State and all these big games. But no, you said, we are a different Indiana team, and you're going to take us seriously because not only are we favorites to make some noise in this division, but we're favorites, like I said, to now have a path to the Big Ten championship game, which is crazy. Crazy. Because this is, like Tyler said, I don't know if he said it live on the podcast, but he definitely said it the other day to me. This is the best Indiana team that I have seen in my lifetime. So, shout out to them. Next game. Florida State, quickly, I will mention, Texas A&M and Florida, not Florida State, played, and it was a 34-17 dub for Texas A&M. Why am I talking about this? Texas A&M is now the number 5 team in the nation. They're 6-0, and this is the first time they've been 6-0 since 2019, if I remember. So, keep an eye on Texas A&M. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's 15, 16 straight wins going back to last year. I know it's the most in college football right now, but they are hot. Next game, number 10, Georgia and Auburn. Only thing I want to talk about really quickly, it's just super quick. It's not even really that important. This is never how anyone claps. Don't let Kirby Smart fool you. Don't let the people of Georgia fool you. This ain't a clap. This is time the fuck out. And if you think that you're going to fool me or another referee or any person of intelligence to think that you were not calling timeout and that you were really just clapping, you got me fucked up. So Kirby Smart, that's really all I have to say. Georgia won the game 20-10. Next, I don't really want to talk about this, but this needs to be talked about. Michigan State and Michigan, I'm kind of just going to do a 2-for-1 here because it was similar stories. UCLA 38, Michigan State 13. The one game that in this underdog stretch of games they were favored in, I would have come on here and took UCLA plus 7.5, and boy, did that hit back. Come off of a huge Penn State win, come off of a coach that I don't think I've seen a team rally behind in college football so quickly and so fast in a very long time, going into Michigan State, and I felt like it was always UCLA on this spread. Not only on the spread, but they kicked the dog shit out of them. Once again, Nico and them boys walked in and walked out 38-13, and I felt like every time I was looking at that screen, UCLA had the ball. And to keep that 2-for-1, Michigan had to play USC and lost 31-13. just 2 ass whoopings for Michigan and Michigan State if you're a fan of either program. Bryce Underwood did not play too well. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, 15 for 24. USC spanked them. So, yeah, like I said, you're a Michigan fan, you're a Michigan State fan. Either way, Saturday kind of fucking sucked. There's really no other way to put it. So, let's just move on from that. Number 11, LSU took on South Carolina. LSU got the dub 20-10. We are officially in Cocktober, and things are going wrong. This is not where we were supposed to be in Cocktober. All signs of cockuary are looking very bleak and out the door. And that is just a sad, sad sign that people want to hear. But people, it looks like cockuary might not be a thing. I know. We got to get through Cocktober at least winning out, which means your next 2 games need to be wins. You go to 5-3. You move from there. We'll deal with Cocktober. But we cannot do this in Cocktober. That's all I will say. LSU, shout out to you. Shout out to Garrett Nessmeyer. Shout out to them boys for continuing to win big games, except for when you have to play Lane Kiffin and his daughter and that whole debacle. So you can't really blame them for that because that's hard to do, man. BYU beat Arizona in double overtime, which now means that BYU is 6-0 once again. Keep an eye on them. That could mean something. That could mean nothing. Last game I have to talk about, Utah and Arizona State. Dampier, we're talking about teams that needed a fucking win. Well, his stat sheet didn't look too well, but that boy's fucking numbers did. And by stat sheet, I mean throwing. Because you want to talk about putting all your eggs in one basket. He put them all into his feet. Because this man said, I'm going to go 7 for 12 with 104 yards, no tutties, no interceptions. But let me get 10 carries, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Utah's Devin Dampier ran all over Arizona State. 42-10 dub. And now Arizona State is in a situation where with these 2 losses, it's going to be an absolute bitch to try to get into the, not the college football playoffs, but to their championship game at the end of the year. So, I'm just quickly going over all these games to see if there's a game that I missed. Yes, one more. Colorado and Coach Prime, kind of been shitting on them this year, but they did something good. Caden Salter, who I was not expecting to come back as a starting quarterback, then get benched out, then go to quarterback 3, then come back to quarterback 2, then go back to the starting quarterback, come into the game, and actually bowl out. I just felt like that was a lot, and this whole quarterback situation was a mess. But he had his best game of the year, 16 for 25, 255 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The boys were going. The boys were cooking. And Iowa State, after a tough upset loss, comes in and takes another tough upset loss. Back-to-back, this one to Colorado. Rocco Becht had 205 passing yards and an interception. Their running back tried to even it out with 177 rushing yards, but at the end of the day, it was all Colorado all day long, which is wild to say. God, my throat was screaming. Pause. That sounded absolutely terrible. I meant it was dry, okay? That's what that meant. Last thing. I forgot, because this needs to also be talked about. The collapse of Penn State, just very quickly. They were a 3-0 team that now lost to Oregon, then lost to UCLA, and then came home and lost to Northwestern. Now, I used to be a Preston Stone guy a couple of years ago when he was on SMU. Then he stopped playing football and left, and I don't know where he left, but then Kevin Jennings came into SMU, and that's a different story. But I think he went to Northwestern originally. So, didn't think too much of him until I was like, is that Preston Stone? Forgot about him. While he beat Penn State. 3 straight losses as a team that was once top 10 in the nation, now unranked. A move felt like had to be made no matter how much he's done for the program, and they made said move by firing James Franklin. James Franklin has been fired from Penn State after taking 3 straight losses. They were a minus 20.5 point favorite, and they lost to Northwestern. Let that sink in. All he's done for the program, great guy, cool. But you gotta at some point realize he doesn't win big games, and now he's not even winning the unbig games. So what are you here for? Get James Franklin.
Yeah!
Have a great goddamn day. We're going to hit this fucking football video, or, you know what, we're going to hit this Vladdy Daddy video, and then we're going to go into the NFL, because I still love him, damn it.
It's funny you say Vladdy hit the home run because he's only hit 2 since his injury, and it was at the beginning of the month of September. Give me the Yankees. He forgot how to hit home runs. That's
the only reason why...
Fly ball high in the air to left. Bellinger going back, and it's gone! Deep left field! It is a grand slam for And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out! He's done it again! The booing only intensifies as Guerrero has given the Blue Jays an early lead.
All right, let's get it. NFL week number 6. If I am going to be joined by Jesse at any point, it would be during the NFL. So you may or may not get interrupted by him, which isn't exactly an interruption. It's helping my throat vocal muscles heal, because when I talk a lot and I talk fast, and I don't give myself chances to breathe. So that's why my mouth gets dry. There, little inside the brain of McDilly, okay? I'm a weird fucking kid. Not really a kid anymore, but I'm a kid at heart, damn it. All right, let's get to it. The NFL week number 6 has come and gone, and oh my goodness, right on the point as we kick into week number 6, I get joined by Jesse. You picked the perfect timing. We literally were just about to talk about the very first game of week number 6.
What did I miss?
The only thing that you missed that you're probably going to want to talk about is this.
Oh, yeah. Brewers down bad. Dodgers are a really hard team to beat, but if Milwaukee can get through the Dodgers, they can beat Seattle. So
yeah,
I pretty much we'll see.
I pretty much said I have the Brewers having a better. Just a summary of what I said for baseball. I said the Brewers pretty much have a better chance of taking a game in LA right now than Toronto does in Seattle, just based off the fact that Seattle is currently outscored them 13-4 in 2 games. So the momentum meter is a lot more like if the Brewers win and it's 2-1, they have a chance in that series. If the If the Blue Jays win tonight and it's 2-1, I am just expecting Seattle to win the next game and then be 3-1.
You know what's crazy? I still see Toronto coming back.
I see Toronto coming back home.
No,
losing 5.
No, I think they can come back and win this series.
I think that would be exciting, but I think that their bullpen right now is doing no favors against a team that, like I said early on the pod, you would think as depleted as Seattle's been after 15 innings of Detroit, they came back and they gave up 2 hits, 1 run. So their bullpen has been turning it up at the right time. And then I talked about college football for the last 20 minutes.
Toronto's, I think, just slumping, but they've been popping against the Yankees. So
yeah,
they might have taken their 2 off, but I think they'll be back bad.
As of now, do you see it being? Because I said as of now, I could see it going 6, going 7, whatever. I have it being Seattle and LA right now. Do you see it not being that because of like a situation of it goes 6 or 7?
Nah, I think it goes. I think it flips. Call me crazy, but I think it flips right back to 2-2.
Okay. So you still think it could be anyone's series in either or?
Yeah, because Toronto can hit.
Yes, but
These two are the same team.
Yeah.
It's just Seattle's bullpen showing up right now, and their pitching is really playing. Really came to play.
yeah. No, I'm not going to argue with you on the fact that it could easily be a 2-2 situation, but I think we both know that means that these game 3s are now must win. Because if any of them falls in a 3-0,
it's must.
You're in a very bad spot. So
you're cooked.
let's get to the NFL. Let's get to week 6. Me and Jesse are gonna run through this bitch. Like I said earlier, we did not have a Saturday pod because we watched 15 innings of Tiger baseball the night before, so that's why that didn't happen. So there was no games to preview, but that doesn't mean we didn't watch them and we can't recap them. So let's get to it. Thursday Night Football is where we always start, and boy, was it a great Thursday to watch football. The New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17. Cam Scatterbo and Jackson Dart come out there, talk their shit, and put their numbers up. 3 touchdowns for Scatterbo, 2 touchdowns for Dart, and a 5-touchdown performance against those Philadelphia Eagles and their 4 straight push play ass bitches. Sorry, that made me so mad to see when it happened.
The 4 push in a row was absolutely bizarre.
Insane.
Because you're childish. The game right after everybody was talking about it, you do your little fake Saquon tush push. And then you go right back to your old ways.
Mm-hmm.
You go right back to your old ways.
And this was, I will say, the only good thing you could say about Philadelphia this game is A.J. Brown at least got 6 catches on 9 targets for 80 yards. They looked his way at least, which has not been happening. The fact that he got 9 targets, finally they looked his way. But that didn't really mean shit when Saquon Barkley, another week under 100 yards, not even 70 yards for them boy. 58 yards, 12 attempts.
They can't run.
The rushing game was dead. Yeah, the rushing game was dead. And honestly, I think majority of the people right now are kind of gravitating towards this Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, young blood energy, and I don't see how you can't. It's exciting.
It's exciting. It's hype. It's lit. But
yeah,
absolutely in no way, shape, or form do I want my quarterback playing like my psychotic running back. Pick your head up. You're the quarterback. What are you doing? Why are you going head first like your running back, who everyone says is psychotic?
Well, I mean, so you're not a wrestling guy, so you probably didn't know this, but Goldberg, you know the guy, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows Goldberg, right? So before every match, he would smash his head into a locker. So before he would, as he was making his entrance, he would have blood coming before he even went into the ring. And somebody said that Cam Scatterbo, ever since he found that out, that's why he puts his helmet on and he smashes it into a wall before he plays, because it gets him ready to go.
Well, I need him to stop only practicing with a Guardian cap. I feel like I didn't see him with a Guardian cap on Thursday.
Cam Scatterbo is one of the few running backs that could currently have a concussion, and we are letting him play.
He absorbs other people's head injuries just by being in the proximity. If one man got CTE, he could make it 50% as bad as it is just by being near him. I want him to have more than a 4-year career maximum timeline with the way he plays.
So my last question is, who do you think this game says more for, Philly or New York?
I think it's so equal.
Okay, that's why I was asking, because to me, I felt very equal.
Because here's the thing. You still don't have Malik Neighbors, and you're not going to this season. I think at some point, that's going to matter.
But they got both their wins without Malik, which is crazy.
I understand, but that's with Jackson. It's not
it's going to continue to be with Jackson.
I understand. But how many teams have we seen that don't have a true number one that can't get the job done? They can get.
Look, I don't think. But here's what we got to think. What are the expectations right now for the Giants? Because the Giants' expectations are exactly. That's my thing. If you're looking at it from a realistic expectation standpoint, I feel like they're actually in a good spot. If you're looking at it like we did the predictions, we went through their schedule. You went game by game. I don't think you gave them more than 3 wins. I think with Jackson Dart, they can beat that 3-win. But if you start going into can he take them into the playoffs and all this and that, then you start going unrealistic. They're not getting 9-10 wins. So, yeah. I think this team could win 5-6 games, which is better than we can say for the next game, who's the other New York team.
I think they'll be a phenomenal team to watch on their spreads because they will cover more than they will.
Yes, I think the fact that they have a fun football team in New York is better than we can say for the next game and the other New York team who played in London, who's now 0-6. Talking about the New York Jets and Justin Fields, who came out and had 45 total passing yards, 9 for 17.
That was the worst game of football I've ever seen from both teams.
Bo Nix, I'm not going to sit here and act like his numbers were crazy. He had 175 yards and a touchdown, but 45 yards, not a pick, not a tutty, and he was sacked 9 times.
There's the issue. That O-line is hot garbage, and his
terrible.
He needs to be in a Jared Goff situation where he is just safe all the time. And I know every quarterback wants to be safe all the time. But Fields isn't going to work with a mismanaged O-line.
He went from a shitty O-line to a somewhat stable O-line to a shitty O-line. He has never had a good O-line in his NFL career.
The worst O-line he's ever had.
Yes, like this and his first year in Chicago, probably pretty, yeah. Look back and do the stats, but pretty similar in my opinion.
Broncos are interesting. I think this game, it was the overseas stuff.
You could tell they were tired.
Yeah,
they
I think
were
so. If not,
tired.
This doesn't look good for you, Denver.
Well, because this wasn't like a situation of like Minnesota. I think the overseas games the last 2 weeks have been better because they've just been staying overseas. So they haven't really been as jet lagged and tired because they've just been doing this. Both these teams had not had an international game. So they were both, I think that probably might have played a factor into why they were both so just goddamn exhausted on the field. And to anyone who woke up early and was like, yay, early morning football, like Jesse, I'm sorry that you had to watch that.
Yep, I watched it.
It not have been fun. But next game to talk about is, let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams come out and the Baltimore Ravens only hold them to 17 points, with which that defense, you could say, pretty good. But on the flip side, they only get 3 points because they still have Cooper Rush, and they're going up against one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL, and absolutely nothing could get going for them. They had 2 quarterbacks split the game, Cooper Rush, Tyler Huntley. Neither of them had 100 passing yards, and the only bright spot of the game was Derrick Henry with 122 rushing yards. But it doesn't mean anything if you can't get points. So now the Ravens are 1-5.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I still think they won 11 games.
I don't understand how Pittsburgh doesn't win this division right now. I'm so confused. Please explain.
Because they have to play Baltimore twice. So if they happen to lose a game or two, this will be when Baltimore is healthy. So if Baltimore can stay alive, they also play the Steelers week 18.
Okay, but Baltimore is going to get back Lamar.
In defensive players. They should.
Their 2 defensive players are out for the year. Muhammad or whatever, the D tackle with his neck, he's out for the year. Yeah, and then the other linebacker out for the year. They're not coming back. What my point is, Jesse, is they can get back Lamar and they can get back a couple pieces on the O-line, but this defense is ass.
They are.
And unless they make deadline moves, it's not going to get a lot better.
You play Bears. You play Dolphins.
Uh-huh.
You play Hold on, my bad. I'm just gonna go to their schedule because I lost them. All right, you get to wrap off Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals. That's in November. No Burrow. Steelers, Bengals, Patriots toughie, Packers toughie, Steelers toughie.
That's why their odds are still what they are. It's because their schedule is so fucking easy.
And it's set up. It's set up for them to be able to play the Steelers for the division in the last week.
All right, here's where I'm at. The Browns, Jets, and Bengals should be 3 wins in a row going into that Steelers game, and that's where I'll be able to see what I need.
Yep.
You should win those 3 in a row, if assuming Lamar's back, because as bad as your defense is, your offense should be able to outperform the Jets and the Browns and the Bengals. Then you go in and you see what happens against Pittsburgh. I can at least make that argument for them, which is more than I thought I was going to say on this podcast. And then, the Rams, consistent good football. And now they're 4-2, and they're sitting at second place in the division with the Niners. But after we talk about the Niners and the next injury that they had, let's just say the Rams are probably feeling pretty good about their spot right now.
Yeah, but the Rams don't know how they don't exactly 100% know what's up with Puka.
Well, they're in a similar spot with the Rams. I feel like always have a key player hurt on their offense. They never have everybody. Never. The second they get Puka and it was Cooper Kupp back, Kyler Williams hurt, and then Kyler Williams would come back, and then Cooper Cooper Kupp would not play. They would never. They would never, and that was like last year and the year before, but they would just never, I felt like, had everybody together. So now I just feel like that same thing is going on, but I could just be thinking too much into it. All right, next game. The Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys. This game was nobody knows what's going to happen other than both teams are going to score a lot of points. And that's what happened. Carolina came out 30. Dallas came out 27. 261 yards and 3 touchdowns for Dak. 199 yards and 3 touchdowns for Bryce. It was an absolute shootout, but the main factor was once again the run game. Rico Dowdle, 30 carries. Good Lord. 183 yards on the ground for Carolina. 210 yards, and 180 of them were from Rico on 30 attempts.
Can't forget about his 4 receptions for 56 yards.
Yeah, this guy had to have been fucking exhausted.
No.
And also, if you had him in fantasy, you're probably pretty happy. This guy was stayed touching the ball.
Second. He said, y'all got rid of me. I'm going to show you why you should have kept me. And he had that heart pumping all game. He was juiced to play them cats. Juiced.
Yeah, I forgot that he was even a fucking Cowboy, if I'm being honest.
He said, buckle up before the game. When they asked him about how he felt about playing Dallas, he said, buckle up.
And did you put your seatbelt on?
Saw a video of a Cowboys fan being like, why would we buckle up? But, hey, I don't think anybody realizes how bad Rico Dowdle was last year. He only had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Again, I forgot he was on the team last year.
Like 1 or 3 receiving. So,
I didn't really think much about him last year. So, good for him. All right.
Did that thing. 53 attempts. And, hold on. 53 attempts and 395 yards.
Yoinks, Scoob. So, 3-3 is Carolina, and I still can't figure out if they're good or bad.
They're mid.
Yeah, guess they're in the middle. Next team, and I guess we can figure out that they are good, is the Colts. They are now 5-1, a 31-27 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett would not die. This man said, one thing that we love on this podcast is some fuck it football, and boy, was Brissett playing some fuck it football.
He was not playing fucking football.
Yes, he was. He threw more deep balls in this game than he has thrown in the 5 games he played in Cleveland last year.
And they were in buckets. They were high point for the tall ones and bucket drops for the average ones.
Okay. Fucking football, let's clarify this, ladies and gentlemen, does not mean an insult. Fucking football does not mean you are not doing. Fucking football means you start throwing up consistent deep balls that you normally don't throw. Like Russell Wilson throwing 360 yards against Dallas.
That's not the same.
That was
not
fucking
the same.
football.
No, we got to put those in different tiers.
Okay, but what I'm saying is he had 320 yards and he had 6 deep balls, and Jacoby Brissett last year did not top 300 yards all year. There was some fucking football here, especially late in the game in the second half when they were in a close game, back and forth, and it was a shootout back and forth, and then they scored 14 points to the Colts 3 in the third quarter to flip that in the fourth quarter and it be 14-3 the other way. It was a great game, and fucking Daniel Jones, he did what he needed to do, but most importantly, their number one guy stayed their number one guy. Jonathan Taylor, 21 attempts, 123 yards in the tutty. So the Colts have just been able to continue to do what they do, and consistency has been the biggest thing for them, and they've never really had that.
It's true.
They've never really had that. As far as Arizona and the Colts situation, I don't think anyone's really too worried right now. That's where I'm at. I think the only thing people are a little worried about is Marvin Harrison. But besides that, I don't think there's too much concern. That's just from what I'm seeing.
Only concern I have is will the Colts really be able to do this once their schedule picks up, because they've played a couple soft defenses. But that Broncos game, I don't know if y'all should have won that. Feels like they gave you all the game. I didn't forget.
Probably shouldn't have won that one.
I didn't forget.
No. But the Colts will take 5-1.
Yes, they will.
He'll take that all day long. Staying in that division, we have they're now the top of the division because Jacksonville's 4-2. Seattle beat Jacksonville 20-12 over the weekend, and it was a Sam Darnold. Honestly, I'll give him props when he needs his props. Sam Darnold did his thing. I said it last pod, and I said it this week. So it's 2 weeks in a row. Sam Darnold, good job. 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 10 incompletions. Whereas Trevor Lawrence threw the ball 42 times, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. But once again, biggest thing, could not get that run game going at all. 59 total yards on 5 different runners for Jacksonville. Now, I'm not going to act like Seattle's run game was all that better, but when you have Jackson Smith-Njigba with 162 receiving yards, you're not really worried about your running game at that point.
Only 133 yards didn't go to JSN. Only 50% of the completions.
The game plan was simple.
Were away from JSN.
Very simple. It was, hey, Cooper Kupp, you are the one and you are the decoy. Number 2, Jackson, get ready, my boy. And he got 13 targets on 8 catches.
JSN was the number one the minute they got Sam Darnold and were making the team different. Everyone was under the listen. This is JSN's team.
I know what a lot of people have been doing this. I don't know if this is a new thing or if this is something people have always done in the NFL, and you could tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. But I feel like it's been very more recently that I've been seeing a lot of people have been putting their number 1 receiver almost as a decoy and then using their number 2 to get these 8, 9, 10 fucking catch games. Whereas their 1 would be like just pretty much going for the deep balls. But is that just always how football's been?
I think you're bugging.
Who's
number 1 isn't performing like they're number 1?
When what I mean by that is like, okay,
CeeDee Lamb, he's getting force fed.
Okay, well, that's a different situation.
Jamar Chase.
Who the fuck are they gonna throw to? Turpin and CeeDee Lamb when he was hurt. Guess who was getting force fed? Pickens. So
number 1.
Okay, but I'm just saying, not for all.
Jefferson, JSN's in that. He's up there with them.
Okay, let's go to the game I'm talking about. Cooper Kupp and JSN.
JSN's the number 1. He's been the number 1. He was taking over of DK. That's why DK got traded.
I think you might be right. I think I might be tweaking.
You're tripping on this one. Jerry Rice, force fed. Michael Irvin, force fed.
Okay, well, I'm not. Okay.
Calvin Johnson, force fed. Antonio Brown, force fed.
No. Tyreek Hill, 1 decoy.
Force fed.
Decoy. decoy.
No.
He has been the decoy for Waddle this year. That's the one you can
He's
give me.
injured.
Before he got hurt. Obviously,
Before he got hurt, he was the number one, and he was getting the targets.
No, he was not. I had him in fantasy football. He was not.
The team was ass. But
Waddle was getting a tutty a game. And Tyreek
like
didn't get a
I feel
tutty.
like it was
Tyreek
all
didn't get a
A
tutty
chain.
until the game before he got hurt.
I feel like it was all A chain.
I have one, and I'm going to stand on that one. I have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill this year.
Okay.
That's it. And I'm taking my one. But you win on every other team.
14 for 15, but you're gonna
Yeah.
hold tight to
Yeah,
that
but I'm
one.
gonna take my one because that's at least 5%. All right.
Jacksonville.
It doesn't put me at 0. What do you got to say about Jacksonville?
Your offense isn't focused enough. And what I mean by that is you don't have a real identity. You don't.
Yeah, no shit. I
And
still don't
that's
think they're a
the
good
issue.
team.
We don't know what you're really good at. We don't know what you actually perform well in, and you're in these games because your defense has 16 turnovers on the season. That's why you're 4-2. It's not the offense. The offense had its battles. The defense is there every single game covering your ass. So
Yeah.
I thought
Next game, and we'll run through these two fucking quick because they weren't that exciting. 23-9, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they were minus 6.5 favorites, and it was bad. And then the Dolphins lost again. They were at least able to put up 27 points, but the Dolphins are 1-5, and the Chargers came out and dropped 264 passing yards, 124 rushing yards, and shout out to Kamani Vidal, game of his fucking career.
Yeah, I think the job's his until he loses it. So Marion Hampton just got booked for at least 5 to 6 weeks, minimum.
Well, okay. I don't think it's his till he loses it. I think it's his until people are healthy.
Yeah, but Najee's going for the season.
Yeah.
So it's only a
I just didn't want people to think like when he comes back, that's his job still. Like no, but he definitely has a spot to be in a number 2 spot.
I think I'm about to say, if you come back from a 5 to 6 week injury, I don't know if I'm going to bully you first week. So, like, Omarion's going to be there, but I don't know if they're going to want to rush him back in.
Yeah, like they could split the carries when he comes back, and then you go from there. 100%. Next game, New England Patriots. Are they back?
Yes, they are devilishly back.
That's my question. 25-19 win over Spencer Rattler and the Saints. But 261 yards, 6 incompletions, 3 touchdowns, and Drake May put on, honestly, a masterclass. Booty was getting
yards taken from him by these shitty refs.
Booty was getting catches. Diggs was getting catches. Douglas was getting catches. Henry was getting catches. Matt Collins was getting catches. Everyone was getting catches in this game. You get a catch. So shout out to New England. I will say, as a Tennessee Titan fan who just went through everything that he went through, and we'll talk about it with his coaching staff and everything, I am fucking terrified to play Mike Vrabel and the Patriots and have them come into Tennessee next week. They're going to shit on us. That is a statement game for Vrabel, and I think the Patriots are back, which is not good for a lot of people. When the Patriots are back, that's fucking scary. So, I agree with you.
Yeah, Drake May, there's probably a clip of me somewhere saying, I rocked with him from when he got drafted in the Patriots. I love Mac, but it had to be done. But he's probably going to – Caleb's got Ben Johnson, but Drake May's got Vrabel. Vrabel will let these guys ball.
And Vrabel has never had a fucking top 5 overall quarterback, first round quarterback, like that's as good as Drake. What I'm trying to say is this man had Ryan Tannehill for 5 goddamn years. Okay, what I'm trying to say is this man never, and then he had Malik for a year, and then he was gone. This man never had a QB who, in my opinion, is as good as Drake May. And if you give Vrabel someone who, in my opinion, as good as he is defensively, is very smart offensively, a quarterback like that, he's very good at getting everybody involved. That was his biggest thing when he ran the Titans is Derrick Henry, you knew if you were focused on him, well, guess what? Westbrook Akine and A.J. Brown and these other guys were going to get involved just as much. So he's doing that with New England.
And he's low-key got a squad. He's got a lot of B level. He's got Diggs who, when healthy, he can still perform.
Yep.
And then DeMario, Booty, Young Cats. Ramondre should be benched, but that's another conversation. Antonio Gibson's broken. So, yeah, we'll see where they go. But the defense, tough.
Yep, I agree. And just kind of just teased it a minute ago, but we're going to talk about my Titans here for a second. Titans, 10. Vegas, 20. Absolute shitter of a game. Just terrible. And Cam Ward had 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and lost to Geno Smith, who had 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. It wasn't like Gene T had 100 yards or anything. He did have 75 yards and a touchdown, but he got the ball 24 times. So if you do that average, that's 3.2 yards a carry, which isn't that. Yeah. Anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is the game ends. Brian Callahan, right after the game.
Yeah!
GM, gone. Callahan, gone. We now are in a situation where we fired our GM and our head coach for no fucking reason. Talking about Vrabel and the old GM. Okay? Then we get Callahan and the new GM, who a lot of people are like, okay, we like this guy, but we can't be 100% on him because we know he's not as good as Vrabel was, right? So the biggest benefit of the doubt that a lot of people probably gave him, and at least I did, was the team isn't supposed to be good. So if you're in a rebuild, you normally get a year or two until people start expecting, things. But the trend that we have now seen with the last 3 number 1 overall pick quarterbacks, and it happened 2 years ago with Caleb Williams and the Browns, and it happened last year. I can't remember with fucking who. I'm blanking. But it's now the 3rd straight year that the number 1 pick has started off 1-5 or 0-4, 0-6 or whatever. And Bryce Young, that was the one. That was 2 years ago, and then it was last year was Chicago, and then this year it's now Tennessee. Head coach fired with a number 1 overall pick before we even get to the trade deadline. Now, I know the question that I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to answer really quickly, is do I think this is the right move? I'm going to say yes, only because the way that Tennessee was playing, you've had not 1, not 2, but 3 teams in their pre- or post-game press conference say they looked like they didn't care. They looked like they didn't have energy. They looked like they were dead. We knew we were already going to win this game. When you hear things like that, then you go, okay, I don't want this guy coaching my team. Every week we're coming out and the other team's expecting to fucking win. It's one thing to go, on paper we should win, and it's another to come out on the field and go, well, these guys don't want to be here. Why don't they want to be here? Probably something to do with the organization and the coaching and all that. So that's why I wanted him gone.
I don't know why these teams keep getting mad at their players for underperforming and not being able to do anything with skill positions when they don't have anybody to block.
Yeah. I agree. There's a lot of problems in Tennessee. I think that I loved how Cam Ward had a realization 3 weeks ago about how we are ass. The boys rallied together to win a game because Arizona would try to do everything they could to lose it for some reason, and we took advantage of that. But make no mistake about it, not on paper, okay? Fuck the paper. You know what? Take the paper and throw it away. On the field, they're the worst team in the league. Not on paper.
It's both.
On the field.
It's both. Even though the Jets don't have a win, they didn't have somebody throw the ball away on the line.
No, but why I say, because even on paper, you'd go, okay, but the Jets have Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields and playmakers and people on defense that can do something. Tennessee, right now, you go, they have Cam Ward. But who's Cam Ward throwing the ball to? Really nobody besides Calvin Ridley.
And a rookie.
Yes, but Calvin Ridley's the only player that's getting at least 5 to 7 targets a game.
He's the inside slot guy.
Yeah, I know. But you don't have a run game. The only player on defense who has really been consistent is your oldest player on defense. God damn it. His name, it's not Amani Hooker, from the Chiefs. Fuck's his name?
Oh, Snead?
Snead. Snead's 30 years old. So it's not looking good. Sorry, I know we spent too much time on the Titans, but that's what happens when you're a Titans fan. Anyways, from my team to your team, let's talk about the Bengals. 27-18, Green Bay won. Not much of an exciting game, honestly, here. Joe Flacco came in, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, and was unable to beat the Packers for the second time in 4 weeks, which I just think would have been fucking hilarious on paper. But Green Bay got their revenge against Flacco.
It's the same.
Move on.
Just have a veteran quarterback. Nothing new here. Packers honestly shouldn't have let him score that much, but Flacco really gets the ball out fast when he has to. He doesn't really take sacks because he knows it could be his last.
Did you hear what Cam Hayward said to Aaron Rodgers about their game coming up because Cincinnati's playing Pittsburgh?
No.
Cam Hayward went up to Aaron Rodgers during his press conference and says, "Are you excited? Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, baby. We're calling this one the Icy Hot Bowl." And Rodgers gave him like that's not funny. Like don't make that joke. Like Rodgers wasn't fucking with it.
It is the Icy Hot Bowl.
It really is, bro. You got 2 40-year-old quarterbacks going at it, so that should be fun. Yay, football. Last 4 o'clock. That if there's any game that I want to be a fucking football game, Joe, please, we beg of you. Last 4 o'clock game, San Francisco 49ers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Biggest storyline coming out of this game was not the Buccaneers and their win, but more importantly, another casualty on the side of the 49ers. This time, it's defensively, and it comes of Fred Warner. This one hurts. This one hurts.
There's a lot of 49ers players I don't care about, Nick Bosa, but Fred Warner, it's a legend in the making. We don't want to see that guy go right now.
I agree. It's like Fred
bad.
Warner, like Kyle Juszczyk. There's like 3 or 4 players on that team that I'd be like, damn. You know, I agree. And now, like I said, another casualty on that 49er team who had to come out with Mac Jones. But Mac Jones had 347 yards and 2 touchdowns. And 2 interceptions. That's fucking football.
Yeah. You know, Jawan Jennings has like 3 broken ribs, a broken toe, a broken hand, a broken chest. Like he's got like 7 different injuries on his body that are all broken.
Yeah, you know what's funny about all these?
IR.
You know what's funny about all these injuries, Jesse? Where's Brandon Ayuk?
Making his way back. We remember what happened to him.
Taking his sweet time.
He's just got a little bit of longer legs than Tank Dell, so it's going to take a little less time, but
taking his sweet time.
Oh, yeah.
I still think he hates the 49ers.
He does. He wanted to leave.
That's what I'm saying. That's why he's taking his sweet time.
Injured.
Ayuk don't want to play.
Interesting.
And the Bucs win. And the Bucs win, but first game they won this year not by 3 points or more. Or by 3 points or less. They won by 11. So
for this game, they had a minus 57-point differential in the fourth quarter before 1 minute and 59 seconds. And within a minute and 59 seconds, they were like +6. Or like +12 or some shit.
That's fucking hilarious.
And Baker, undeniable MVP right now, right?
Yes. If you asked me to vote today, who's the MVP? I'm casting my vote for Baker Mayfield, and I'm not thinking twice about anyone else in the league.
Just making sure.
Because anyone else, I could at least think about the one game they had that's been, yeah, but Mahomes had that, yeah, but Allen had that, but yeah, I can't think of a game that he's had that I've been like, what are you doing, Baker?
You know who's number 2, though?
I'd love to know who's number 2. I can't think of who's number 2.
It's Drake May.
You might be right.
If we're speaking
you might be
on
right.
Who's been playing the best ball, it's Drake May.
Hold that theory. I'm going to DraftKings. I'm very, very interested.
No. It's probably Mahomes right now.
There is zero
reason.
He's 3-3,
But
Jesse.
when you're talking about bets, they might.
I'm just saying. Normally, Mahomes gets the glaze because he wins all these close games, but they're 3-3. Awards, MVP. God damn it! You're fucking right. He's number 2. This is some bullshit. Mahomes is the favorite at plus 175, and then it's Baker at plus 300. Then plus 300 at Josh Allen. Then plus 1,600 for Drake May.
Bullshit.
Well, I'm looking at you like this because
Big value.
you want to take a little $10 bet
Huge value.
at plus 1,600. Fuck it, a $5 bet. You get 800. Fuck you waiting for? I'm just saying.
I think there might be some math there that is. You said plus 1,600. Not
85. 85 you'd win. I'm so sorry. 85 you'd win.
More.
Fuck it, throw 100. Win 17,000.
But yeah.
Okay, Sunday Night Football.
Mahomes has technically been the best quarterback, but
let's talk about Mahomes. Let's talk about Sunday Night Football. Let's talk about, yes, even though that there was a bunch of calls that went against Detroit and the Chiefs didn't get any penalties, Detroit didn't exactly do themselves any favors by only scoring.
No. That's not how we're going to start this off. We're going to start this off.
Not.
Very important that I don't know if you heard them because you're not really on the radio that much. Dan Campbell was interviewed today.
Oh, I did hear this today. Yes.
And was asked,
go ahead.
Did an official tell you that this came from New York? And he said, yeah. With a voice and an
like
emotion
a broken man
that you could clearly tell felt jaded. Because the officiating crew went into a press conference, lied their ass off, and then the truth got revealed later. No one will care about it in a week. Just remember, somebody lost $445,000 on that bet. And New York should be ashamed of themselves. Because Kansas can easily come back from 2-4.
What was the bet?
He had Jared Goff for the first touchdown score, $5,000.
Because I was like, even if that touchdown hit, they didn't cover. But okay.
First touchdown score.
Yeah, my thing is, I thought that it was an aggravating game to watch in terms of the calls that we weren't getting, but we didn't do ourselves any favors in the second half. That's all I can say. Because we only scored 7 points, and yeah, I'm not. First half, I can bitch all day. We could talk about the delay of game. We can talk about the 2 different calls that were not made at all, the block in the back, all this bullshit. We can talk about all these calls that they didn't make.
Monroe should have caught the ball on 4th down.
But there were dropped balls, there were let up sacks, and there were plays in this game that Detroit did not do themselves any favors. Now we do have to talk about Juju Smith-Schuster being a little bitch boy that he is. And if you look at numerous people in the NFL that have talked about this that no longer are in the league, I've seen more than one podcast that say Juju Smith-Schuster is the greatest at he'll talk shit to your face, talk shit to your face, talk shit to your face. You come back, runs to the official.
Yeah, little brother syndrome.
Little brother syndrome is what they all said. And he did that to Brian Branch, talked his shit, hit him from behind, and then after the game, BB said, no, I don't play that shit. Mahomes, this is nothing against you. So all the people that are like, he didn't shake an MVP's hand and all. Chill on that shit.
Well, he also spun the ball while looking at him in the end zone, and I'm
just saying that that shit had nothing to do with Mahomes. He was looking right at Juju. He didn't want nothing more than to get his lick back from you hitting me from behind, because if you have any smoke with me, I'm gonna bring it to your front door. How the fuck was he able to get in such a clean lick that busted this man's nose open while he had a helmet on? I have no idea, but that is impressive as fuck, because not only did you get him into a spot where he was on his back getting dragged like a dog, but you busted his nose open off one shot to the helmet. That's an angry fucking punch.
Yeah, Juju going out sad. He looked sad when he got popped in the mouth, and he looked sad when he was getting stood over. I said this last year. Say it again.
Also, he got a 1-game suspension for that.
Yeah. They appealed it, but we'll probably.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Yeah. I hate that the Chiefs are still going to win the division.
Win the division or make the playoffs? What'd you say?
Win the division.
Okay. I would agree with that. I hate they're still going to make the playoffs, but I can't go all in on that because I need to see them play Denver.
We're serious.
I'm serious. I need to see them play Denver late in the year when it's cold and shitty, and Denver, who is going to need to rely on this defense when the weather is shitty and it hits November. Keep it a buck. And it hits December. They're going to win games because of their defense.
It's true.
I don't think the Chiefs are.
But I truly believe Mahomes.
That's my only argument.
Mahomes is playing pretty damn good this season.
He was never playing bad, even when he was losing these games. It wasn't because Mahomes was playing bad. But think about it. The one game that they should have won, but Kelsey catches that ball and they win that game. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah. But honestly, no, because Andy Reid. Funny thing about that play is they've ran that play 5 times from the same formation, and all 5 times it hasn't worked. Because it's an obvious play that shouldn't be getting ran and it gets stopped every time.
So that lost on Andy Reid, and then fucking game 2 of the year, you can't really blame Mahomes because Travis Kelsey in the beginning of the game took out his primary receiver, and the other receiver is suspended.
Yeah, and that suspended receiver coming back.
Yeah,
People look up.
I would still make an argument that it will not be a runaway and it will be a battle with Denver. I think we both agree on that. I
think it'll be like this weird 3-way tie. But yeah.
With who's the third?
Chargers. Because they.
Oh, sorry. I literally was blanking. Yeah, I just couldn't remember. I was like,
it'll slow down because their O-line's a little beat up. In some games, they just won't be able to handle pressure.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs getting Rice back at 3-3.
Hey, the fact that can even be a competitive division race, I think, is just for enough people. They're happy.
Yeah.
They're tired of just it being Kansas City running away.
Right.
So, all right, let's talk about Monday Night Football and then let's get the fuck out of here. So,
Falcons, they're for real.
Go ahead. 24-14 was the final. Talk about it.
Defense has played. They have not allowed a single team in any game to have 200 passing yards or 100 rushing yards.
I'm just so confused how this team I watched on Monday Night Football lost 30-0 to Carolina at home.
Hey, it's not about how you get knocked down. It's about how you get back up. They went to the drawing board and they said, "This shit we pulled in Carolina,
it was
all out.
It was at home.
Yeah, it was. They did get
Carolina came to their house and did that.
Yeah,
which made me think Monday Night Football, Josh Allen in Buffalo, and James Cook probably gonna shit on him. And that was never the case from the jump.
And Josh Allen had a bad game. He played bad.
Yes. Well, bad couple games. Because let's not act like against the Patriots at home last week when he had 3 fumbles and an interception.
But
that was a good game.
Both these games, these defenses caused so much havoc. It made Josh Allen play bad, and I'm going to give the credit to the 2 teams. But Josh Allen is Superman. You know you have to be Superman to win games. So
I'm just pointing out the stats. These are back-to-back games where it has been bad numbers on his side. Yeah.
That's true. Good defense.
And then Bijan. God, honestly, I really just needed to play Bijan and Scatabo, and I was going to beat you in fantasy this week just fucking there. Okay. My goodness. 31-34, something like that.
My wide receivers decided to fold.
No, for those of you who don't know, me and Jesse, every time we play, it's a situation of whoever loses probably would have beaten anyone else that they would have played that week because they put up 130 or 140 points. And it was no difference. I think I beat Jesse 160 to 140 or something like that. So, something crazy. So, once again, yeah.
Last thing I've got on this game is
I was going to talk about
Bijan might be the best guy. Bijan might be the best player. He might be on his Saquon shit. Because he truly has already 860 yards, all purpose.
And he had 70 yards receiving this game. So that's 200 and sorry, my math is shitty, so correct me if I'm wrong. 170 plus 70. That's 240 yards, right?
Yep.
That's how many yards Bijan had.
Yep.
How many yards did they have in offense? 210 plus 250. So out of 460 yards, half of those yards were from Bijan.
Yep.
All right. It's so crazy. Every time that that Atlanta wins big, their best players get the ball.
Yes, because
And
this
every
is
time-
a hyper-focused offense.
And every time they lose, their best players don't get the ball. It's like this is the easiest fucking team to run on paper, just in terms of when the good people get the ball, we win. When the bad people get the ball, we lose. I mean, it's very simple.
You have to give Bijan opportunities because of his 80-yard touchdown. He has the speed and ability.
You need to make sure that
London.
Drake London, is getting at least 10 targets.
No,
He
it
got
doesn't have to be 10 targets. You just have to. It does not matter if he's covered. You have to give him chances.
Yes, and he got 10 receptions on 158 yards.
Yeah, and Kyle Pitts is your slot.
Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Unless you're mixing Drake London around, you put him on a streak.
Sorry, not sorry. Last game we have to talk about before we preview Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, and then we get the fuck out of here, is Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears taking on Jalen Daniels and the Washington Commanders. First half of this football game, kind of shitty. Both offenses, kind of shitty. Both defenses, very good. Second half, things started to pick up. Both offenses started to get a little more creative, started to do a little more. Washington, at the end of the third quarter, kind of hit them with a 1-2 punch to, take the lead big, and then immediately was countered by a 50-yard DeAndre Swift touchdown by the Bears to keep them right back in it. We go down to the wire on a 40-yard line rushing attempt. They fumble. Chicago takes that ball. They only need 20 more yards for a field goal, and that was what costed them the game. Game-winning field goal on who went 4 for 5? Who hit 4 field goals from 40-plus yards? Jake fucking Moody, who got cut from the 49ers and had his first game as a Bear, which I just think is hilarious because he couldn't kick shit in San Francisco, except his door open to leave.
Funny part is, it's the Bears who have been
and now what's crazy is
and all kicking their way out of games.
What's crazy is the Bears playing the way they've played this year, and the Lions, they've played the way this year. You would look at them and be like, they're not even on the same level. Well, they're both 3-2. They're technically the same level, which is crazy on paper to see.
Dylan.
We know the truth if you watch football, but casual fans that are like, they're tied in the division.
They're
Fuck
both
you.
not 3-2. Bears had a bye week. That's why they're 3-2. Lions are 4-2.
Who was our fourth win against? I thought we won 3 in a row.
Isn't it been 6 weeks? No, this is week 6. I'm tripping. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Hell yeah, I'm never right. No, we are 4. I was wrong. We are 4-2.
Okay.
God damn it.
I'm like,
fuck.
wait a minute.
I'm not right.
And then I'm like, wait, Rasheed Rice is suspended 6 weeks. He comes back.
Shit, you're right. God damn
Oh,
it.
yeah, it's week 7.
Okay, but that's good that I'm wrong because that means that we're still at the top of the division.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So last thing before we get the fuck out of here is obviously
Steelers.
We just talked about it
Cover.
recently. We're calling it the Icy Hot Bowl. God damn it. Steelers, Bengals. Jesse has the Steelers. Doesn't even have to tell you anything else.
What's the spread again?
I'm getting it right now. Home
7.5.
NFL game lines 5.5 points. The favorites are Pittsburgh. Devils number
Over under
44.5 points. I like that under. That's for. Wait, no, because I just talked about fucking football. I don't know. Wait a minute.
No, this is gonna be one of those stupid games that's 44 on the dot and they win by the half. Yeah, I'm gonna take Steelers spread. I don't trust Fleck.
I don't know what to do here because I feel like my brain wants to take the under, but I'm gonna go against it for fucking football. So we're gonna take the over 44.5 points. Jesse, I appreciate you coming in here and making my life so much easier for the last fucking 45 minutes.
No problem.
Thank you. All right. You got anything you want to add before we get the hell out of here? Anything in the world of college football that you wanted to say from this weekend that you weren't able
James
to talk
Franklin
about?
deserved it.
I did have a little monologue about that. Yes.
That's all. James Franklin deserved it. Terrible coach in the clutch. Terrible coach against good teams. Never was going to win you another Big Ten championship. Is what it is.
Do you have? I guess my only other question is: do you have any thoughts on Indiana beating Oregon?
Yeah, saw it coming. Honestly, because Oregon just.
We're good. We're good.
Oregon will just matter later. Indiana, they had to. Oregon could have dropped that game and they'll still be fine because Indiana will win over. Not literally.
Okay, I said the only thing that I said the only reason why this game might be huge is because if you go into a situation where let's assume Indiana's only loss is to number 1 Ohio State, when you're looking at the Big Ten championship game, you're probably looking at Indiana or Oregon. So this game could be huge. That's the only thing I think you should got to mention because they will put in Indiana because of this game. So,
but then that gives Oregon the jump up because the Indiana game will matter if they lose.
Oh yeah, and don't get me wrong. Just because either Oregon or Indiana, let's say they don't make the Big Ten championship, that doesn't mean they're not making playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. 16 teams.
Yeah.
All right. There's nothing else really that was that huge that you need to touch on. Yeah. All right. Let's get the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. We appreciate you. If you guys want to check us out on the socials, you know what? You can do that at Ride the Tide 58. Jesus Christ, that's loud. We're going to turn that down. You can check us out on the socials at Ride the Tide 586. You know what it is. At Ride the Tide 586 on Instagram, YouTube, X, Twitch, all the social medias, even Facebook. You can find us there. We will be live next Saturday. Not next Saturday, this Saturday, with all the previews for the next week of college football, NFL, the MLB playoffs, and everything that's going on in the world of sports. I am Nick Dilly. I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Appreciate you. Woo!